Hey, greetings, friends. Jacque Howard here. And thanks for taking some of your time out of your busy schedule to spend it with me and to hear some of the opinions that I share, but the information that I'm bringing to you from people who are professionals in their subjects, subject matter experts, so to speak. But let's get into some of the details. My name is Jacque Howard, and welcome to Trenton 365. During this segment, we're going to be talking about Jacque's R.E.A.C.H, and R.E.A.C.H is an acronym for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. We'll be focusing on civics today, and this is also part of the Bridge the Vote series. And that Bridge the Vote series is a website on Facebook that focuses on politics in the Mercer County, Trenton, New Jersey region, and a hyper focus on the city of Trenton, where I live, and the co-founder of Bridge the Vote, Will Foskey, lives as well. So on the Bridge the Vote Facebook page, we focus on bringing information about the elections, about the politicians, about the concerns that residents have that are political, all with the idea that we can use the website as an opportunity to share information for many folks who may not have the ability to go to a local meeting or something of that nature, or may not come in contact with the elected officials personally and physically on a regular basis. This website, Facebook page is set up so that we can share information there, so that more people can be educated about civics and about the candidates and the folks that are running or leading them, so to speak, here in the city of Trenton and beyond. So, happening, and I'm really, really excited about this, just because it's kind of like I'm a nerd with this stuff, like an information sharing nerd. So I got an email, and it was from Paul Harris, who works for the city of Trenton. And the email is a list of the candidates for the Trenton general elections happening November 8th in 2022. It's historic because this is the first time that the elections are taking place in November. So some folks are going to be shocked that they're not doing the elections in May and June, et cetera. But we are now voting along with all of the other major election cycles that take place. And we are November 8th, 2022, the Trenton general elections will take place. Now, these elections, and this form that was sent out was well done. It was very specific. It has a list of all the candidates and the different wards that they are in and what they're seeking. And there is 28 candidates who are vying for the 4 ward positions, the 3 at-large positions, right, and the mayor. Okay, so there's 8. There's 8 people who are going to be elected in these upcoming elections. And I'm going to go through the names, and I hope that all of them are familiar to you. I have to be honest with you that not all the names are familiar with me, and I hope that anyone who is in their parties or in their groups or in their networks will reach out to me and say, hey, look, the candidate would love to chat with you and to have a conversation and share it over WIMG and Trenton 365 and Bridge the Vote, so that they can reach a larger audience about what they're trying to do and why they're running for this particular office. So going through the candidates, let's start with the East Ward. And the East Ward, we have Ophelia M. Adderley, incumbent Joseph A. Harrison, and Sonia A. Wilkins. In the South Ward, we have Jenna Figueroa Kettenberg, Damian Malave, and Evangeline A. Uguri. And I may be pronouncing her name wrong, and I apologize, but it's spelled U as in universe, G-O-R-G-I. Uguri. North Ward, Divine Allah, Merkel Cherry, Algernon Ward, and Jennifer Williams. The West Ward, Italia Armstrong, Tesca Frisbee, and Mary Horn. At large city council, Clifton Anderson, Alex Bethea, Jossie Edwards, Crystal Feliciano, Edward Forshin, Yasminelli Gonzalez, Kaja Manuel, Michael Ranallo, Waldemar Ronquillo. I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong. And Taiwanda Terry Wilson. And for mayor, Cherie Garrett, Reed Gussie Ora, Kathy McBride, Moses Sutton, and Robin M. Vaughn. So those are the candidates. And again, I'm sure things could change if once they start reviewing all of the petitions, etc. The petitions is an issue that I think that we need to pay attention to. I think that I don't know if we have the person power or if the structure is in place to verify all of the petitions, to make sure that the persons who are signing these actually live at those addresses, that those addresses are accurate, etc. I think that needs to be a focus, more of a focus, and that's the petitions. Also, I personally do not sign any petitions. I don't support any candidates for any elected office. And the reason why I do that, I feel I take what I do in media seriously, and I don't want it to be given the impression that I'm doing something because of something. Elections and so forth are all local, they're all personal. And I think it behooves us to consider how we develop that mindset at the smallest level locally, teach our young folks that so that it can bubble up to the larger entities. So I don't support any candidates, but most of them I know personally, think that they're fine people, have a lot of things in common with them. And but politics and running the city it's different than just somebody being a good person, so to speak. I think that that's critical, but there's a lot of other factors involved in that. So I say that to lead into the idea that we need to focus on civics, and the civic impression of it is teaching from the beginning. What does it mean to be a neighbor? What does it mean to be a resident of a community? And what does that include? What does that entail? Oftentimes I chat about, especially this time of the year when the seasons are changing and we potentially are moving into snow removal season, that, in municipalities like Trenton, there's a chance that the folks who are here may never have experienced snow before, just from where they lived in the past. If they were coming from a warmer climate, coming from a region that doesn't have snow, how do you expect them to know how to properly remove snow or to deal with snow if that's something that they've never had before? But those of us who are used to it, those of us who understand that, what would it take for us to take a couple of moments and explain that? I think that if those type of efforts were done, we as a city would be able to move forward a bit faster. I like to use the example of when people travel. People often travel and go to different places because they like them. They like the experiences, they like what they're seeing, all those things. Generally, everybody there knows how to behave. And when I say behave, I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are, what your ethnicity is, where you're from. You're a tourist, you know how to behave. So if you know how to behave as a tourist when you go to certain places, then why can't you behave or act touristy in your own environment, especially if that's where you live or where you're from? I never really understood that. So again, petition to encourage people to let their candidates know, the 28 people who are running for ward at large, and mayor. Share what you're doing. Please have a website set up. Please do social media. Please do debates, or not debates, but forums. Meet the candidate sessions. Go to civic associations. And let more people know about who you are and what your plans are. It's going to make it a lot easier and better for all of us. As I get ready to close up, I remember 4 years ago, or a little longer than that, when we had the elections and folks were so excited that there was going to be a whole new crop of people coming in. It was going to be different. It's going to be change. One of the questions I believe we all must ask ourselves with politics: are you in a better space than you were before? You don't have to answer to me, but think about that. If those who are leading you now have made your situation no better, I'm Jacque Howard. Thank you for spending some time with me. Trenton 365, Bridge the Vote, Jacque's Reach. In closing, remember, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.